So, this class we will be talking about PN junction diode. Last class we have already studied what is a PN junction. In a PN junction we have simple junction. So, P and N, there are the majority carriers are holes, the minority carriers are electrons in the P side. Similarly, in the N side, majority carriers, that means more in number, are electrons and minority carriers are the holes. And we studied that there is a depletion region will be developed where there are immobile charges are present, because holes have moved from P to N, some electrons have moved from N to P. So, at the junction, this is your junction. So, at the junction there is a depletion region where there are no mobile charges. Then second thing, that there is a barrier field. The barrier field is from N to P and there is a barrier potential. That means potential junction. So, at the N, this much is the barrier potential VB, that must be overcome for the majority carriers to change or cross over the junction. So, when a PN junction is provided with metallic surfaces at the two ends with metallic terminals for connection with the external circuit, then it is called a PN junction diode or a semiconductor diode. It is a very small, something like this. It has two terminals. The black portion, if you can see it properly, there is a black portion and there is a white portion, white ring like. The white ring portion is the N side and the black portion is the P side. So, this is so small. A PN junction diode looks something like this. Now, it can be, in this case we were not connecting PN junction to any bias, any voltage, any external source of EMF. Now, when we connect it to an external source, what happens? And we call this the forward bias or the reverse bias. When the PN junction is so connected that the P side is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, external voltage source, then it is called forward bias. The N side is connected to negative, N with negative, P with positive, then it is called forward bias. Opposite, that is when the P side of the junction is connected to negative and N side is connected to positive of the external source, we call it a reverse bias. Now, what happens in a forward bias? We know that there is a depletion region, there is a barrier field. The barrier field is obstructing the flow of holes from P to N, obstructing flow of electrons from N to P. There is a barrier potential which must be overcome for these majority carriers to cross. Now, when you are applying a voltage like this is higher potential than this point. That means, you are applying a field, this is your external electric field. External electric field is from this side to this side. The barrier field is in this manner. The barrier field at the junction is from N side to P side. So, that means the barrier field will be reduced now. So, first thing that happens is barrier field reduces, depletion region reduces, the width of the depletion region decreases, and so barrier field decreases, depletion region width decreases and barrier potential also decreases. So, that means if your PN junction is like this was the width of the depletion region before voltage was connected. When you connect forward bias, the width now becomes less. So, gradually the depletion width decreases, that means the obstruction decreases. So, some holes can move from here to here, but current will not start, there will be no current in the circuit unless until the entire barrier field is overcome, total barrier potential is overcome by the external battery. So, if you change this go on changing this external voltage. If you vary the external voltage from 0 onwards, it after a certain voltage, then the entire barrier field is the depletion region reduces to 0, barrier field decreases to 0, barrier potential also reduces, and hence now the holes can now cross over. Similarly, the electrons from N can now cross over because there is no depletion region now. So, when the holes cross over to the N side, the holes are minority carrier. I have already told you majority electrons in N, minority holes in N. So, the hole which has come from P to N is now a minority charge carrier in N. So, at this point, the number of minority charge carriers increase. So, the minority charge carriers concentration is more here, less here. So, these minority charge carrier, there is a concentration gradient of minority carrier of holes, that means from holes have come from P to N because depletion region reduces to 0, depletion region 0. Holes will move from P to N. In N, holes are minority carriers. Similarly, your electrons will move from N to P, where they are minority. So, the minority concentration increases near the junction. So, the density, that means the concentration of minority carrier increases near the junction. Away from the junction, there are less minority carriers. So, there is a diffusion from entire N, while from here to here the minority carrier is more here, less here. So, there will be a diffusion of minority carriers, and as a result of which, and there is also drift, but the drift value here will be very small. Drift means the hole has come from here to here. This is a negative terminal. So, negative terminal will supply electrons to this metal. This is the metallic end of the p-n junction. So, it will supply the electron to the metal will give some electrons to this. So, the holes will be accelerated due to this negative terminal. There will be a drift, but the drift is very small. There is more diffusion. There are two, diffusion and drift, both constitute current, but in this case there will be more diffusion in the forward bias. Due to diffusion, the holes will move from here to here, and similarly on the p side, electrons have come from here to here. Once they come here the electron concentration is more, here is less, there is a concentration gradient of electrons. So, these electrons will travel or diffuse from this end to this end. So, that is why, so when they come to this end, they will give, the electron will be supplied to the metallic surface. So, these electrons will travel along back to the, so electrons will come back in this manner, and here the electrons will be supplied to this metallic surface. So, in the external circuit there is a current, electrons are moving from here to here. So, that means there will be a current in the circuit in this manner. This is the load current, the current I in the diode current will flow in this manner. So, this is how a forward bias acts. If we go to the reverse bias, on the other hand, what happens? Just the opposite thing will happen. When you give a negative potential to P and positive potential to N, the depletion region now will, in that case depletion region was decreasing, because the field, external electric field and the barrier field, they were opposite. In this case, the barrier field is along this direction, the external field is also in this direction. So, this is our external electric field given due to this potential. So, these two fields will add up that means the depletion region will now increase. So, in this case the depletion region increases. So, just the opposite thing happens. Now, the depletion region will be, if this was the earlier, the depletion region was this when there was no bias, now the depletion region will be more, will be of this width. So, width now increases. So, now the majority carriers cannot cross over. So, that is why there is no current. The only current that will flow in the case of reverse bias will be that there will be some minority carriers, minority holes in N and minority charge carriers, carrier electron in P, they can cross the junction, because the field is now more. The barrier field plus the external field both will add up to a large value. So, under this action these minority carriers, minority charge carriers, they can cross the junction. So, from N to P the holes will move from N to P, electrons will move from P to N. So, electrons are moving from P to N. So, some electrons will be provided by the external circuit, external voltage source will provide some electrons to P, and in the other words the electrons will move in this manner from here to here, and electrons are moving in this manner, that means there will be a current in the opposite direction. So, current in the circuit will be now in this manner, because holes are moving from this side to the right to left. So, my current in the external circuit will be like this, but this is reverse. So, the current in the external circuit is in opposite direction than to the case of forward bias. But this current is very small. If we measure this current ID in milliampere, this current is very small in microampere. So, let us go to the VI characteristic of the PN junction diode. This is a graph between the voltage applied, that is the external voltage that you are giving, V voltage is applied. If V is the voltage applied, what is the current in the circuit? If it is forward bias, the current remains 0 until the depletion region reduces to 0 or depletion region minimizes and the potential, barrier potential is overcome. Till that time there is no current in the circuit. When that is overcome, that voltage, then current increases and increases quite sharply. This voltage from when the current increases sharply is called cut-in voltage, and this cut-in voltage is 0.7 voltage for silicon and 0.2 to 0.2 voltage for germanium. That means this value, this is 0.6 or 0.7 volt for silicon diode. So, this is the forward bias characteristic, the current is in milliampere. I have drawn the same graph in the reverse bias graph also on the same graph. When voltage is increased, the negative voltage opposite, that is why I have taken it on the left side. So, when the negative bias is increased, current remains very small, this small, that means from here to here this current is some nearly 1 microampere of that order. So, reverse bias current or called the reverse saturation current. This current is called reverse saturation current. And this is in microampere and it remains constant, and suddenly at a certain voltage there is a large increase, and this is called breakdown. In the reverse bias, if you go on increasing the voltage, what will happen? That if you go on increasing the voltage, the depletion region increases, the barrier potential increases. So, as a result of which a large potential applied to all these the crystal, the covalent bond starts breaking. So, when covalent bond starts breaking, covalent bonds break means electron and hole pairs are created. So, suddenly there are a large number of electrons, large number of holes. So, the reverse current suddenly increases. This is the region, breakdown region, and we say that there is a breakdown. When a diode is properly made such that we use the breakdown region, that is called a Zener diode, and Zener breakdown, the breakdown due to breakage of covalent bond is Zener breakdown. There are two kinds of breakdown, one is a avalanche breakdown. I can have breakdown, Zener breakdown or avalanche breakdown. In Zener breakdown, the covalent bonds break. Whereas, in case of avalanche breakdown, when these electrons or holes are moving through the crystal, they collide with the atoms. When they collide, they can lose out other electrons. So, when an electron is moving from an atom, it collides and it ejects out another electron. So, as a result of which, under the action of a large voltage, a large number of electrons will be created, and that is called avalanche breakdown. In this case, there is a collision of electrons with atoms of the crystal. They create an avalanche breakdown, but there is not much difference between the two. Usually, we call both the breakdown as Zener breakdown. So, this is the VI characteristic, and the current, if we write down how it is connected with the reverse saturation current in the diode is, this is the current, instantaneous current in the diode is Is e to the power QV by eta kBt minus 1, where eta is a constant, 1 for germanium and 2 for silicon, and your Is is the reverse saturation current, Q here is the electronic charge of an electron, 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Kb is your Boltzmann constant, and T is the absolute temperature. If I put the value of Kb, these are constants, electronic charge, Kb, and let us take at temperature 300 K, which is room temperature more or less 27 degrees centigrade. So, if I put these values, this reduces to Is exponential e to the power 36 V by eta minus 1. So, you can use this for any in formulas, we can use this when the Is is a reverse saturation current, and this is the VI characteristic. One is cut-in voltage, this is the knee voltage. In the reverse bias, the voltage beyond which the current suddenly increases, voltage for no change in voltage does not change, remains constant. So, that voltage remains constant, but the current changes, goes to a maximum, very large current flows, is called the knee voltage. So, one thing you should know, what is cut-in voltage? This is the forward voltage beyond which current increases sharply, that is cut-in voltage. Then the knee voltage is the reverse bias. This looks like a knee, antho bhaliya dekha jauchi. So, this part, this if you forward it, extrapolate, extend this, it will meet somewhere here, and that is knee voltage. Third thing that we can find out from this graph is a diode resistance. Diode resistance can be DC resistance, or DC resistance is simply voltage by current in the forward bias, the forward current If. So, take any voltage, divide by the current. So, if I take this voltage, by the corresponding current, then I will get Vf by If, that is the DC resistance of the diode. Another is dynamic or AC resistance of the diode, that is delta Vf by delta If. That means you take some this change in, this is my delta Vf, from here to here is delta Vf, and the change in current is delta If. So, if you take this by this, you get the dynamic AC resistance. So, the AC resistance of the PN junction diode is very small in the forward bias. It allows current, it allows a lot of current to flow in forward bias, but in reverse bias it does not allow current, the current is very small, that means the resistance in the reverse bias is very large. So, diode main characteristic is forward bias, it behaves something like a conductor, it allows a large current to flow. So, it allows current in forward bias, its resistance is low in the forward bias, its resistance is very high in the reverse bias. So, this property of PN junction diode is actually is used to make it as a PN junction as a rectifier. So, we will go to how PN junction diode is used as a rectifier. Now, the time laguଛି ଏଗୁଡ଼ାକ ମଝିରେ PN junction diode as a rectifier. So, what is first thing, that what is a rectifier? A rectifier is an electronic circuit which converts AC alternating current into unidirectional current. In alternating current, current reverses its direction after a certain equal interval of time. But in unidirectional current, this reversal of direction of current does not take place. That means, current always flows in the same direction. So, this is the work of a rectifier, to convert from AC, not exactly DC, but it is a pulsating DC, or in other words it is a unidirectional current, but the value of the current, the magnitude of the current, that is output of the rectifier, is not constant. To make it constant, we use a filter. So, rectifier is the first part, that you convert AC to a unidirectional current. If you use a filter thereafter, it will be converted into a constant DC current. Now, a rectifier may be a half wave rectifier. So, PN junction diode as a half wave rectifier can be used as a half wave rectifier or as a full wave rectifier. Now, as the name indicates, it converts half of the AC, half portion of the AC. Half portion means in one cycle of alternating current, we have a in one direction, current flows in one direction, in the next half the current flows in the opposite direction. But here it will convert only half of that. That means, if this is your input, this is the input, then the output here will be only half of, it will convert only this half from this positive half, the negative half will not be. That means, if this is your input, then the output will be like this, there is no current for the negative half, then the output will be again for the positive half only. So, this is the output. So, any circuit which will convert this to this is a half wave rectifier, because it is converting only half of the cycle of AC into unidirectional current. This is a very simple circuit. Oh, I had forgotten how the symbol of the PN junction, symbol of PN junction diode is this. So, this is the P side, this one is the N side, and the arrow, this arrowhead, this is the direction in which the forward current flows. So, that is the symbol of the PN junction diode. So, I will use that here, the PN junction. You want to convert an AC. So, this is my input. So, this is the input is an AC, something like this. I use a transformer is used. The two ends of the secondary of the transformer is connected to this diode, and here is my load, wherever the current is to be given, this is called the load resistance, this is load, and this is my PN junction diode, PN diode D. This is a simple circuit and you take the output from here. How does this work? So, this is the circuit of a PN junction diode as a half wave rectifier. So, the input AC connected to the primary of the transformer, the two ends, the secondary of the transformer, one is connected to P side, the other end is connected to the output. The negative N of the PN junction diode is connected to another end of the output voltage, across these 2 points is connected to the load. This is a simple circuit. Now, how does it work? Let us say for the first half cycle, the positive voltage is appearing here at A. That means, A is at positive potential than the point B. These are the two ends of the transformer. A is positive, let us say A is positive and B end is negative. So, that means, A is at a higher potential than B. So, when A is at a higher potential, that means P side of the junction. So, that makes P side of junction, P side of our PN junction diode D, that is P side of D is at higher potential than the N side, because the N side is connected to the negative, B is negative. So, it is negative means the N side will be at a lower potential. And we know that a PN junction diode conducts when P side is positive, N side is negative, when it is forward biased. That means, which makes D is forward biased. So, because D is forward biased, current will flow. Current will flow in which direction? Current will flow in this direction, let us say ID. So, current flows. Current flows. So, this current will flow in the load resistance from P to Q, from P to Q, and voltage will be developed across the load. Voltage जेमती भाव रे input change हबो, output भी सेमती change हबो. Only difference is that if your input is, let us say the highest is, this is 2 volt, but here the current will start flowing, let us say this is a silicon diode. For silicon the cut-in voltage is 0.7 volt. That means, it will start conducting only after the forward bias is 0.7 volt. That means, after A becomes 0.7 volt more than the point B. So, that means it will start from 0.7 volt. So, the maximum it can go is 1.3 volt. So, this is the only difference, otherwise it will the shape remains the same. So, current flows from P to Q. This is the first half. What happens in the next half? When A becomes negative and B becomes positive, now A is negative means the P side of the junction is now negative. So, if the P side is negative and N side is positive, it is a reverse biased. So, a reverse biased diode does not conduct. So, that means D will not conduct. We are not going to the breakdown region. We are not applying that much voltage which will take it to the breakdown voltage. So, the current remains hardly microampere, which is negligible. So, D will not conduct. That means there will be no current in the circuit and remains 0. So, this current ID becomes 0, there will be no current. Again when A becomes positive, for the next cycle, positive half cycle, A becomes positive, B becomes negative, the reverse bias, the junction diode will conduct. When it will be forward biased, it will conduct. When reverse biased, again it will not conduct. So, this will be repeated, and this is how you get from the input, the output is this, and the efficiency we measure how much. So, the efficiency of, if we find out the efficiency of the rectifier, efficiency of rectifier is will be defined as what we are getting. We want the output to be DC. So, the power DC, DC output power, DC output power divided by AC input power. Any efficiency of any machine is output by input. So, here we require the DC power output, whereas the input is AC input power. So, the DC output power will be I DC, let us say square I square R. So, R is your load resistance divided by the AC input power will be I RMS square. Whenever we are taking a AC, the power is I RMS square into the resistance. So, I RMS square into the resistance here is RL, the load resistance, plus the resistance of the diode. This is the resistance of diode resistance, because that current AC current is passing through the diode, it is passing through RL, both of them. Resistance of this, how much resistance it gives. So, that is very small actually, it will be very small in comparison to this one. So, in most cases we can neglect this one. So, this is the value, and for half wave rectifier our IDC value is I maximum, whatever is the maximum input AC divided by pi, and I RMS is IM by 2. So, if I put it here, then I will get this will be equal to 4 by pi square. I divide this RL here and here. So, RL by RL will be 1 plus RD by RL. So, this 1 by 1 plus RD by RL. So, if this is very small, I can neglect, this part will become 1 and this usually expressed in percentage. So, if this is to be calculated 4 by pi square, it will be around 40.6%. What does it mean? It means that only 40% of the AC input is converted to DC output. So, the only 40%. So, we are getting a very low efficiency, and that is why a PN junction diode is usually not used as a half wave rectifier. So, we can use PN junction diode as a full wave rectifier. So, in this case we will be using 2 PN junction diodes. So, PN junction diode as a full wave rectifier. So, let us discuss how we can use PN junction diode as a full wave rectifier. Now, in this case as before, the input AC is connected to the primary of a transformer, the secondary of the transformer, this is the secondary of the transformer is connected, one end of the secondary is connected to one diode, the other end is connected to another diode, P side, and the two negative N sides are interconnected. From the center of this transformer, one point is taken, this is jumped, that means it is not connected here, the wire is jumped, and then from these two the common end of the N, both the N are connected together from that end and the center tap, this is called the center tap of the transformer. From the center tap, point is taken out and a load resistance is connected across these 2 points. So, this is my point P and point Q, this is my load resistance, whatever voltage is appearing, we will take out the output from here. So, this is the circuit of a PN junction diode as a full wave rectifier. So, there are two junction diodes now used, D1 and D2. With the P side of D1 is connected to, let us say, the A end of the transformer, D2, P side of D2 is connected to the B end of the transformer. So, let us see how this is the circuit and how does it work. The working principle similar, now in this case we have two PN junction diodes. Let us say for the first half cycle, of AC, input AC, let us say my A end is positive, B end is negative. That means A is at a higher potential, B is at a lower potential. So, that means A is higher, potential decreases from A to B, here, if I go on, the potential gradually decreasing. So, P side of D1, so what we see that P side of D1 is positive, the N side, this is the N of the D1, this N is connected to this one. Now, this is connected to this and to this point. So, what happens that now the D1 N is at a lower potential, N is lower potential or we call it the negative potential. So, D1 is forward biased. Let us see what about D2. D2 is at 0 potential, let us say if this is plus, then this is 0. Let us say this is plus to 20 volt, this is 0 volt. This point will be halfway, that means if this is 20 volt, this will be 10 volt, this is 0 volt. So, this is 10 volt. So, if this is 10 volt means this connected here, connected across this, connected here, connected to this, comes to this point. So, this is the N side. So, the N side is plus 10 volt, the P side is 0. That means N side is now at a higher potential than B side. So, for D2, the N side of D2 is higher potential. I gave an example, let us say this is 20 volt, here 10 volt, this is 0 volt. So, if this is 10 volt, this 10 volt is connected here through a conductor to this point comes here and connected to N side. So, N side is at 10 volt, but P side is 0 volt. So, is less. So, P side of D2 is at lower potential. So, this makes D2 reverse bias. So, what we find that when the cycle is such that A is positive and B is negative, then we say that D1 is forward biased, D2 is reverse biased. So, if it is forward biased, it will conduct, it will allow current to pass through, but D2 is reverse biased, it will not conduct. That means current will not flow. A direction current jiba katha seta jiboni. तबे D1 केमती कंडक्ट करिवो A to this point, then एपटे एमती जीवनी कारण ये ब्लॉक करूची ये एपटे जीवनी तेणु इसे इधा सीधा जीव P to Q रु बैक आसीबो सेंटर टैप को आसीबो O धर. सो दिस पार्ट विल वर्क. ए पार्टार करेन्टा एपटे ए पार्ट दिस विल नॉट टेक पार्ट इन योर कंडक्शन. सो D1 will conduct along the path A, then through D1, then it will go to P, then it will go to Q, P to Q to then to O. So, in this path, that means current in the load will move from P to Q. So, current in the load current. So, load current moves, load current I have given the name IL, moves from P to Q, and there will be a voltage. So, this output will be IL into the resistance. So, this will be the output voltage, and whatever is your input, the shape of the same thing will be here in the output, except that it will start from 0.7 volt. If it is silicon PN junction, if it is germanium, then it will start from 0.2 volt. So, less heijibo, otherwise it will remain the same. For the positive half, this is here D1 is conducting. Through D1 your value is like this, this is my output. P to Q, and the shape is same as the input AC voltage. Now, what happens when the next half cycle? For next half cycle, A is now negative, B is positive. That means the potential is more here, decreases upwards. So, that means this is at a higher potential, this is at a less than B potential, A is at the least potential. So, B is at a higher potential means your D2, the P side of D2. So, P side of D2 is at higher potential, is positive, and N side of D2 is negative, because the N side is connected here, not along this and this to back to O. So, N side is actually connected to O. O is at a lower potential than B. So, P side is connected to B at a higher potential, N side is connected to O which is at a lower potential. So, my D2 is forward biased, D will be forward biased, and D2 will conduct. On the other hand, P side of D1, now D1 this is negative, this is at a higher potential, O is at a higher potential than A is at a lower potential, O is at a higher potential, O is connected to in this manner to D1, N side of D1. So, N side of D1 is now connected to O. So, N side of D1 will be at a higher potential, and P side of D1 is negative and N side of D1 is positive. So, this makes D1 reverse biased, and this we know that reverse biased diode will not conduct. So, D1 will not conduct. So, current does not pass through the D1, then D2 conducts. Conducts means in what direction the current will flow? Current will flow. So, in D2 current flows along path, you can from the higher potential side B, then through D2, then it goes to, in this manner it goes here, it cannot go to the left side, it goes to P, then to Q, P to Q, back to O. So, it completes the circuit. So, again you see that again the current in load, which is IL, let us say this is, the other one was if IL1, where did I write IL, load current IL, let us say for the first conductor, this is for the second diode. IL2 is again current in load IL2 is from P to Q. Current, the direction of current remains the same in the load resistance. So, the output will be in the same direction, but in this manner, just in the same way as the AC voltage is changing in the input side. So, this will be the output and this is repeated. So, this is how both this cycle of the input AC is converted to unidirectional current. It is not a pure DC because it is fluctuating. Its value is not constant like this. This is a pure DC. With time the voltage remains constant, but here with time the voltage changes, goes to a maxima, decreases to 0, goes to a maxima like a sine graph. So, this is but unidirectional, the current in the load moves in the same direction. So, this is how a PN junction diode behaves as a full wave rectifier, because it converts both the cycle of input AC into a unidirectional current. As before we did for the half wave rectifier, we can find out the efficiency. If we find the efficiency of full wave rectifier, as before, eta is P DC by P AC. The DC output power, this is DC output power divided by AC input power. The same formula, I DC square RL by I RMS square RL plus RD. Refer the half wave rectifier, is the same IDC, same IRMS, RL and RD. Now, in this case IDC for a full wave rectifier, IDC is 2 IM by pi and IRMS is IM by root 2. What is IM? It is the maximum value or peak value of AC, peak value of input AC. If you put all this, you get 8 by pi square 1 by 1 plus RD by RL, and this expressed in percentage will be 80.6 or 81%. So, the efficiency of a full wave rectifier is 80% nearly, whereas it is only 40% in the case of a half wave rectifier, and that is why in all circuits we use a PN junction diode as a full wave rectifier, not as a half wave rectifier. The only disadvantage of this output is it is fluctuating, it is pulsating, it is not constant. The value increases to maximum, then decreases to 0, again increases to maximum and so on. So, it is not a pure DC, it is only unidirectional, it goes in the same direction, does not change, reverses its direction, does not reverse. To convert it to DC, we require another circuit. With this circuit, you use either an inductor in series or a capacitor in parallel, which will be a filter, and filter is not in your course. So, I am not going into that. So, this, but you should know this, that this output can be converted to DC by using a filter circuit. So, we will move over to the next part of the course, that the special diodes. There are other special PN junction diodes. One is, I have already given you a hint, the other is Zener diode. This is another type of PN junction diode. The Zener diode, the symbol of the Zener diode, there is a Z kind of a thing, same, but here this is a this. The N terminal is something like a Z. So, this is the P side, this is a N side. What makes special about Zener diode, that the Zener diode is a highly doped PN junction. That means, the number of impurities that is added for making the P and N conductor is very large. So, there are a large number of carriers in P and N side. So, that is a highly doped PN junction. In case of simple PN junction diode, the doping is light, but here it is a highly doped crystal. What happens when, and secondly, it is always used in reverse bias, and main principle it uses the breakdown region. Of operation. So, that is why it is a special kind of a PN junction. So, if you remember the VI characteristic of the graph between voltage and current of the diode, Zener diode, will also have the same circuit. This is by reverse bias. The graph of VI characteristic in the reverse bias is like this. I have already told you about avalanche breakdown and Zener breakdown. When in a, it is nothing but a PN junction kind of a thing, but there are number of holes here is large, number of electrons large. When you connect, P is connected to negative, N is connected to positive, you get a reverse bias. So, when you are getting a reverse bias, then this depletion region is large at the junction. So, it does not allow the holes to cross there or electrons to cross from N to P. Then what happens if there are charges present, but you are applying a large voltage, you are increasing and increasing this voltage is increased more and more. For how long the atoms can keep the electrons to itself? Naturally, the electrons will try to go away, because there is a large voltage, somebody else is trying to pull them apart. So, that is why what happens that at a certain point the covalent bonds break. So, breakage of covalent bonds take place. So, germanium to germanium or silicon to silicon, the bond broken means electron goes out, electron becomes free. When electron goes free means there will be a hole. So, electron and hole, one electron is released, one hole is released. So, electron hole pairs are created, as a result of which a large number of still further large of charge carriers are there in the circuit, and as a result of which in P side there are a large number of holes, the number increases and suddenly the current increases to a large value. And the main thing is that the voltage here, you see that the voltage is not increasing, voltage remains constant here and the current increases. This is different from a conductor. In a conductor, when you increase the voltage, the current will increase by same amount. V and I are proportional, but here the voltage remains constant, current will be different, will go on increasing. Suddenly, if you do an experiment with the Zener diode in the reverse bias, up to 5 volt or 6 volt, the current remains more or less 0, because this is microampere. This current in microampere, micro means 10 to the power minus 6 ampere, 0.000001. So, that much current is never measured in our instruments. So, this remains constantly 0 and suddenly the current increases, suddenly the galvanometer deflection will be very large. So, that is the point when Zener breakdown has occurred. We say that this is a Zener breakdown. So, main property of Zener breakdown is what? Voltage remains constant, voltage remains constant, current is large and there is a large current, and this large current can vary also. For the same voltage, current can be this, current can be this, it is more or less straight, can be this, current can be this, current can be this, for the same voltage. That is the main idea of the Zener diode. That is why Zener diode is used as a voltage regulator. So, we next see how Zener diode can be used as a voltage regulator. Because the voltage remains constant in the reverse bias, at breakdown the voltage remains constant. So, Zener can be used in a reverse bias to any circuit, the voltage will remain constant. Because it is highly doped, the breakdown occurs at low voltage. In the market, if you go and buy a Zener diode, the shopkeeper will ask you, kete volt, 5 volt, 6 volt, 10 volt. So, whether that means that is the voltage at which breakdown occurs, or that is the voltage at which the voltage will remain constant. If you connect that, if you require a circuit where you require a 5 volt constant voltage, then you bring a Zener diode, connect it in parallel, suppose 5 volt. So, you bring a Zener diode of 5 volt, connect it in parallel, that the voltage output will remain 5 volt constant. So, Zener diode as a voltage regulator is a very simple circuit. Suppose this is your input voltage, connect a resistance and a Zener. But this should be, if this is positive, this is negative, the positive will be connected to the negative of the, or let me make it positive, positive, negative, the positive side will be connected to the negative of the Zener, like this, and from here you connect the output. Whatever your appliance is used, this is load means anything to which you are applying the voltage. It may be your circuit, or it may be your some light bulb or anything, this is load. This is my output voltage. Series resistance, Zener in reverse bias, the Zener in reverse bias, this is my load, this is a series resistance. Let us see how this can be used as a voltage regulator. Voltage regulator means what you want is a constant voltage across your load, whatever is your okay, just it accept those. Now, if this is your input voltage, if the input voltage, let us say voltage, input voltage increases, load is constant. That means you are connecting to the same circuit but input voltage suddenly increases. So if input voltage increases, this input voltage is Rs and Z. So Rs and Z means the current, input current will increase. Input current, that means supply current, I say. The supply voltage increases, supply current or total current, or your total current. Let me give it a name I. So this is I. Current in the zener is Iz. Let us say current in the load is IL. So current I increases. Current I increases, but the whatever I increases, the same current, whatever increase is there in I, the same increase occurs in Iz. That means jete बढ़िला एठी से सबु जाक ए Iz रे पळेबो. तेणु voltage here IL current will not change. IL current जदि change हेलानी, IL into RL, that is my low output voltage. Output voltage, output here is IL into RL. So IL change हेलानी, RL भी change हेलानी, तेणु this will remain constant. So whatever change occurs, total current I increases. जेतिकी increase हेला delta I is equal to delta Iz. सबु जाक जीनर रे पळेबो. जीनर रे सेतिकी एक्स्ट्रा करंट हे जीवो. सो माय टोटल करंट इज इक्वल टू Iz प्लस IL. तेणु डेल्टा Iz हे गला, डेल्टा I जेते हेला सबु जाक डेल्टा रे एथि रे चेंज हे गला. ता माने एथि रे किछि चेंज नाही. सो डेल्टा IL विल बी इक्वल टू 0. देयर इज नो चेंज इन डेल्टा IL. तेणु IL into RL remains constant. In fact, voltage IL RL is also equal to voltage across this is voltage across zener. That remains constant. सेटा तो सब बेले constant रहिबो. आमे कहउछु जे reverse bias रे voltage across the zener will remain constant equal to this. This is how the zener controls that thing. अच्छा, input जदि बढ़िला तबे सेया हला, input जदि कमिबो, if your input voltage decreases, जतिकी कमिबो current भी सेतिकी कमिबो. करंट जदि कमिला तबे यार करंट टा कमी जीवो, यार करंट टा कमी जीवो, किंतु IL टा रिमेन्स कांस्टेंट. सो जहाँ भी हो करंट बढ़ू कि कमू, देयर विल बी नो चेंज इन लोड करंट. सो वोल्टेज अक्रॉस द लोड विल आल्सो नॉट चेंज. तेणु आउटपुट वोल्टेज टा कांस्टेंट रहिबो. नेक्स्ट, जदि इनपुट कांस्टेंट रहिला, इनपुट और सप्लाई वोल्टेज, व्हाट एवर यू से सप्लाई वोल्टेज इज कांस्टेंट समान अछि, बट तुम लोड चेंज है, RL चेंजेस. RL चेंजेस माने तुम प्रथम गोटे ये बल्बटे जल बर्तमान बल्ब जगार आउ गोटे कौन सर्किट लगेब, तमें से दुटा अलग जिनस अलग रेजिस्टेंस. सो दे विल द लोड रेजिस्टेंस चेंजेस. मु या काट देकरी गोटे टॉर्च बल्ब लगे जगह आउ गोटे बल्ब लगेबी, तमाने लोड चेंज है मोर. सो इफ लोड चेंजेस किंतु मोर से वोल्टेज दरकार से, किंतु आमे जानछु जे आउटपुट वोल्टेज होची IL into RL. जदि RL टा चेंज कर देइजो तमे, तामान तो ए आउटपुट वोल्टेज चेंज हो जिबा कथा, किंतु चेंज होबनी. केमती चेंज होबनी ना, RL चेंज हला, टोटल वोल्टेज कांस्टेंट अछि. टोटल वोल्टेज जदि कांस्टेंट अछि तबे ए टोटल करंट कांस्टेंट, टोटल करंट कांस्टेंट. सेठी टोटल करंट चेंज होउतला, टोटल वोल्टेज चेंज होउतला, तेनु टोटल करंट चेंज होउतला, किंतु एठी टोटल करंट टा कांस्टेंट रहिबो. इफ टोटल करंट रिमेन्स कांस्टेंट तबे कोन हबो ना, द करंट ये धरा जाओ सपोज तमरा लोड टा बढ़ीची, जेनर कोन करिवो ना, जदि लोड टा बढ़ी जाईची तबे तार करंट टा को कमेई देबो आ निज देहर ता भितरे बेसी करंट जीवो. डेल्टा I is 0. We know that I is equal to this. एथिरे जदि डेल्टा करिवा, चेंज इन I will be equal to change in Iz plus change in IL. तेणु डेल्टा I टा जदि 0 हैला, ता माने डेल्टा चेंज इन Iz is equal to माइनस चेंज इन IL. तार अर्थ कौन ना, जेतिकी चेंज हम Iz रे केते चेंज हम, जेतिकी एथिरे ये जदि बढ़िबो, चेंज इन IL जदि पॉजिटिव है माने ये नेगेटिव, ये सेतिकी कमी जीवो. तेणु करंट एठी जेतिकी बढ़ी जीवा, जदि RL बढ़िला, RL जदि बढ़िला, IL टा किछि कमिबो, IL टा कमिबो, जेतिकी कमिबो सेतिकी Iz रे बढ़ी जीवो. सो दैट टोटल करंट I टा कांस्टेंट रहिबो. I एठी भाग होची IL और Iz रे. ये जति कमिला ये सेति बढ़िला उल्टा भी हो पारे जदि RL टा कमिगला RL जदि कमिला डेल्टा IL टा बढ़ी जीवो चेंज इन IL टा जति बढ़िबो ये सेति कमिबो दीटाक मिसी गले समान रहिबो सो I टोटल करेंट विल रिमेन सेम टोटल करेंट समान रहिबो किंतु एठी कोन करिवो ताने आज इफ जिनर ताकू बेसिक करेंट दे दोची जेंति कि लोड जदि कमी गला ये टिके बेसी बढ़ाई देबो करेंट तेन कि टोटल प्रोडक्ट टा कांस्टेंट रहिबो आ जदि RL टा कमी गला RL टा बढ़ी गला तेबे से कोन करिवो ना ताकू बेसी करेंट दबनी निज देहरे सब जाक बेसी करेंट टा पास कर दबो तेनु व्हाटएवर इज द प्रोडक्ट स्टिल रिमेन्स द सेम सो दिस इज हाउ IL will remain constant will change IL जति की चेंज हो IL into RL यही प्रोडक्ट टा will remain constant equal to VZ तो कांस्टेंट रहिबो ना हमर जति की 5 वोल्ट की 6 वोल्ट जहाँ अच्छी जेनर वोल्टेज सेति की रहिबो सो दिस इज हाउ अ जेनर इज यूज्ड एज ए वोल्टेज रेगुलेटर एंड so in the next class we will be going to the further special diodes optoelectronic devices photodiode LED and you have a solar cell. Thank you.